she's got to calm down, is what I think.
Yeah.
Because every time she's like, I mean, the few interviews I've read, she's like, oh, yeah, we don't really care about what you all are doing. We're doing the future.
Have you seen Jaden Smith's, his Twitter?
No.
It's the best thing.
Bonkers.
Yeah. Is it?
Look at it. And then, and then live it.
Should I read some of it?
It just smacks like a person who no one has ever said to that person, "Shut up."
Oh, shut up! Right? Yeah.
Just no one has ever.
There's
said
no discipline going on.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest problem. Here,
Maybe, not even discipline. Like he might be like a good kid, but it's just like no one's ever thought to say like, "Oh, maybe that thought that fell out of your head should have stayed there."
It's definitely, it reads like weird philosophy.
Yeah.
Like there's no filter.
There's no filter, but he's also like, we used to... Oh, my mom's calling me. No, you're not.
Your mom's calling you right now?
Yeah.
You want to answer it on the podcast?
Don't. No, she'll just say weird stuff. So
Oh, we should put her on speaker. That'd be great.
Yeah, we don't want weird stuff on this podcast.
I know. What? Come on. That's exactly what we want.
She'll just be upset that I'm not married or whatever.
What?
Like,
is that like a common occurrence?
Yeah. Like
is a podcast a wife?
You're going to find a wife on a podcast?
I don't understand what's going on.
By the way, married? If that's her voice, I love it because I love talking in that voice.
No, my mom has spent no time in New York, but she'll like if she does anything like Jewy, just immediately her voice like turns into like somewhere like I'm from Long Island, oi,
oi, oi, vey, somehow.
Yeah.
You're still a little too quiet, so just
too quiet.
Come on in a little bit more.
All right,
just a smidge.
Get in there.
Turn this heat a little off.
It feels weird to be able to hear myself.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm
it does.
Scooting back. Probably.
You're like, please, I don't want to.
I don't trust it.
I'm always too loud, so I'll try to maintain myself. Did something just turn up? I feel like something did.
Yeah, that was me. I'm turned up.
You're turned up? We're all turned up. Oh, I think I just put my headphones in better.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Because they were in shit. Yeah, so let's fucking get into a podcast. If you guys are ready.
Love to.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's fun because
I've never done this before, so.
Oh, really?
It gets weird. Like, I might not last for very long, is what I'm saying.
What does this mean? Are you going to just keel over?
I'll just jizz everywhere? I don't know.
Ew. I thought you said you might poop yourself or throw up. That's the first thing.
I probably won't do that.
He might just expel.
I was just saying, like, sometimes I do that, but probably won't.
Okay, good. Hey, this is a Video Game Break podcast, and I'm a guy named Carlos. And those people you've been hearing, because yes, we've already started, is Adam Lang.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, the guy who is not going to do the thing he said, which is really gross. And Brent Flyberg's here.
Hello, I will do that gross thing.
Yeah. Thanks for having my back.
Yeah.
Can we none of us do the gross things?
Well,
I'm not going to make any promises.
All right.
Yeah.
So I know Adam from a comedy mashup that we did.
Yeah.
What did we call that? What is it called?
It is called probably something with the word mashup in it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't remember.
What is a comedy mashup?
Well, it was this thing Dan Hart, I believe, puts on at the Pocket Theater.
That one in Greenwood?
I'm looking at Adam, and he looks like he's taking a test right now. He's like, I don't know answers.
I'm like looking down, like, no.
Don't talk to me. Dan Hart here in Seattle does this cool comedy mashup thing where basically it's like the 48-hour jams, where you make a video game or a film in like a weekend. So we all got together on Friday, and we all pitched ideas. We picked each other's ideas, and then we wrote on them the next day and edited and stuff like that. And then the third day we performed them.
That's right, because he emailed me about that. Someone did. I didn't know it was Dan Hart, but someone emailed me about that a long time ago, and I was like, I'm going to do that. And then I forgot.
From the James Adomian workshop, that's how I got into it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You should do it next time.
I should.
All
that
three
sounded
of us.
really cool.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. I wanted to do the last one, but I was busy, so I didn't.
I was also busy, and I didn't either.
How often does it happen?
Often?
A few times a year. Something every few months or so.
But there's a lot of different activities here in Seattle that Dan was turned me on to that are like that. So the one we were on, we got a sketch, and I got to play Nicolas Cage, and Adam played Daniel Day-Lewis as Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, it was excellent.
And we got to fight each other.
I got to travel through time.
Sounds about right.
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah. And also you killed me with an Academy Award.
Right. I killed a few people with the Academy Award.
Yeah. Lincoln. Also.
I killed Lincoln, yeah.
Yeah, first.
Yeah, because I had to be able to, like, be him. Mm-hmm. So I killed him, and then I became him.
Very method.
That's how you get into a character.
That's how you do it.
Makes
Go
sense.
back in time, and you kill the person, and you become them.
My favorite part was, or just one of my favorite parts, was at the very end we ad-libbed the last section. So after you hit me with the Academy Award, you said, what'd you say? Oh, you wouldn't know anything about that? Academy Awards or something? And I go, what about leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't know what he was going to say, so I was just like,
nothing.
You're right. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Cage.
Also, Brent Flyberg, we met on the TV show pilot thing that I did.
That's right.
It didn't work, but still, it was
Still,
fun.
I had fun.
Yeah. And you were the opener and got the crowd all jazzed.
Yeah.
Doing your humor.
Playing my jazz music. I was up there with the oboe.
I don't think that happened.
You sure? I think that was a jazz show. I think I did a jazz set that night. No, I told jokes.
Yeah. It was fun because that was the first time I was behind like a red curtain, like, listening to the act and just like, if he does awesome, we're going to do awesome. No pressure, but I really hope he's funny. And then the audience started laughing. And I was like, okay, this is going to be great.
No pressure, but it's all on you.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? The opener? Like that's, so you do stand up.
Yes.
Adam, you do stand up too.
Yeah. I
both
do
do
open mics.
Yeah. And we do sketch stuff. I think all three of us do that. But like being an opener, that just seems like that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You're like, I got to get this party started.
I'm kind of used to it because I get put up first. I get put up early a lot because I'm kind of a high energy, like fun. Like even if I'm not crushing it, I'm not going to I'm not negative or dour in that way. Like I'm not gonna bring the energy below zero.
Right.
I can only go neutral or up.
+1, +2. Yeah, not negative.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah, so it worked out for that, and we'd love to do something in the future. And by the way, both of you guys are invited to that. We're doing a live version of this podcast.
What?
It's happening in 2 weeks, and we're just going to bring in guest people during it.
Okay.
So you just like grab a mic and get up on there and just talk.
Where is that happening?
It's at the Rendezvous Jewel Box Theater.
Oh, yeah.
In Seattle, Washington.
Familiar.
Yeah.
In the Jewel Box?
Yeah, in the Jewel Box.
Okay.
Got that for the evening. So anyways, anybody in Seattle can come out to it. It's March 15th, 6 p.m., and there's a link to the Facebook event I'll put in the show notes. Cool. So let's get into what we're talking about. It's video games.
Yeah.
Video games are fun. So what are you guys playing? Like, I'm playing a million things because, like, I got problems. But, Adam, what are you playing?
Right now, as of, like, this last week or so, I've been playing, that old game Gauntlet?
Oh, yeah.
They remade it probably a while ago, but I just became aware of the remake, and I downloaded it off Steam and just been playing through that. It's been, like they just added a lot to it rather than just, like, randomly going around cutting stuff. Like, there's certain skills that you can use. So that's been pretty fun.
What do you think about that? Because, like, I remember people talking about that when it came out, and they were a little poo-pooing it because the original Gauntlet was, like, so just old school and just a couple buttons, it's just you're going to die, kill a bunch of enemies. And then this one's a little more complicated.
It's a little bit more complicated. Like, there's different classes that have, like, different skills rather than just, like, I have a bow, so I obviously shoot arrows. Like, you can also, like, if you have a bow, the guy, like, does a roll. So it's still pretty simple. But I would say it's, like, complex in the way that, like, maybe Smash Brothers is complex.
Oh, okay.
Where, like, initially you're playing, you can, like, I just push one button, awesome. And then you realize, like, oh, no, there's, like, way more to it.
Yeah, a combination of the buttons. Well, the thing was, a lot of the backlash was that Gauntlet was so, a lot of us older folk, at least, remember it as a fond memory in the arcades.
Right.
Yeah, I remember the arcade game.
Yeah, and, like, do we ruin the memory of it?
Right. It's a totally different game.
Yeah.
But it has, like, the same concept. You just go around stabbing zombies, and then you get money, and you eat food.
Those big turkey legs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Do they still say wizard is about to die? Because if they don't, fuck that game.
They do some stuff like that. Like, the Valkyrie chose to destroy the food.
Oh, right.
Good tactical decision.
Ooh, extra commentary.
Yeah, there's tactical decisions. You're destroying food. That's a whole nother element.
Yeah, if you hit it with your sword, it dies.
Yeah, food. That's what happens in real world.
But like, why would you want to kill the food? I can't.
You don't.
Sometimes there's just zombies everywhere, and you're like,
it's an occupational hazard.
So is the announcer being sarcastic when he says it's a good tactical decision?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
Well, I think he's always been sarcastic. You know, it's like, and he's an ass. Like, you're about to die, and it tells you, the wizard's about to die. Just in case you didn't know, your ass is about to die. Yeah, shut up.
Thanks, announcer.
Well, I'll have to check that out because I kept putting it on of course, Steam isn't crazy. Like, you have a million games in there.
Right.
And you never play any of them. But I just kept putting that in the back because I heard some bad stuff about it. But whatever.
Yeah. I think
I'll try it.
It's worth, like, the $10 or whatever. Like, I thought it was pretty fun. I feel like it was just, like, kind of fun to go back to that concept. It's not the same game at all, but it's really similar.
Yeah. And what else? What were we talking about before? About the goat? Before the podcast started, you just mentioned this game.
Endless Forest.
Endless Forest. I'm going to look it up. Okay. Tell me about it when I look it up.
So, it's a game where you play as, I believe as a deer with a humanoid face.
Okay.
And it's an MMO.
By the way, I'm on board already.
Yeah. It is an MMO in the sense that, like, it's online, you know, like, it's in most senses, but there's no game. You just walk around in an endless forest. And you can make sounds, but that's it. So, like, you can... some people will make scripts to, like, make their sound go, like, just, like, over and over again forever. And, like, it is...
Annoying?
It's annoying. It's really creepy. The sounds are just, like, really odd. So that's all you can do to interact with people. And you have a human face. So that's also really creepy.
Like Seaman. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah. Dreamcast game.
Yeah, so it's
excellent. Do you run into other deer man faces?
Yes.
Okay. And then you just make noises at each other
that's
and
all
then
you can
scamper
do.
off?
Yeah.
Can you recreate one of the noises for us?
I can't remember. I
I'll
feel
play
like
one in a minute.
It's just like, like really strange.
That sounds about right. I'm looking at the description of the page. It says, you are a deer, so are the other players. You meet each other in an endless forest on the internet. The setting is idle. Not good at that stuff. The atmosphere peaceful. You communicate with one another through sounds and body language.
Yeah.
Body language. So can you adjust your body language? Like, is there buttons to, like, shrug?
Adjust your body language is the name of an album, by the way.
By who?
Like an 80s album.
Okay.
Yeah. Adjust your body language.
Yeah. I don't think I was stoned enough to play more than, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember that we found it and we were like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And then we tried to, like, create, like, we're going to raid. We need a clan, man. What's our clan name? We couldn't do anything, so we just got bored. Stopped playing.
You remember Journey? That was the game. Nice. No, there's a PlayStation game where you're just a little hooded figure and you walk around the sand dunes. Basically, in that game, you can't communicate except a couple of different things. Like, it's non-verbal communication. And it's very interesting because there's no griefing. There's no, microphones on and people saying bullshit. It's just, you have to, navigate this world with this other random person you meet. And I like that idea of, talking without talking.
Right.
So that seems similar to the game Journey.
But there's no even concept of a quest or anything. There's no point to it, but it's excellent.
Okay, I'm trying to find a sound for it so we can hear this terrible, scary sound. Let's see if this is it. Oh, this is just a trailer with music, I think. Oh, this is nice.
Wait, they made a trailer for it?
Oh, every game is a trailer.
Very Renaissance fair.
Yeah. I
just want the end of the trailer to be like...
Yeah.
No, it's just a nice song. Okay, whatever. That's not what we're going to do. You look it up on the internet. It's a thing. Endless Forest.
Yeah.
It's freaking me out, and I'm going to go play it as soon as we're done.
The look, the face of the deer, it's just terrifying. It's like...
Are you playing anything else besides those two things?
I just got introduced to, because I was gooning around on Steam, I just got introduced to Just Cause.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I downloaded that and Just Cause 2, and I've been playing Just Cause 2, and I was like, whoa, I can be like Nick Cage thinks he is.
Oh, it's incredible.
You can, you're just like, you have a grappling hook, which is amazing.
Yep.
And you can use it on anything. You're like, oh, look, a helicopter. Boom, grappling hook onto that. I'm going to punch the guy in the face and then throw him out. Now I'm in a helicopter. Now I'm going to grappling hook this helicopter to this other helicopter, and they're going to smash into each other and crash. And
it's fucking amazing. And Just Cause 3 is coming out.
Oh.
And everyone's freaking out because it's, just going to go over the top. It just kept getting more and more weird, that series.
Yeah.
And, with the grappling hook, you're like, okay, I'm going to fucking put two helicopters together.
Yeah.
I'm going to basically fly in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do so many crazy things. And, you can, so the very first scene, this is my first introduction to either game. Some of my friends were like, yeah, you get a grappling hook and it's fun. And I play a lot of games with my friends, and they were just like, we'll get the mod to play multiplayer, and we'll all play together. Mm-hmm. There's a grappling hook. It's awesome. And I was like, well, I'll just download it and see what it's like. And the very first, there's a cutscene, and during that cutscene, the end of the cutscene, you just jump out of a helicopter. I was sitting there, I was casually doing something else, and I'm watching the cutscene and not really expecting anything, expecting the helicopter to land or just to fade to black. The guy just jumps out of the helicopter.
And now you're controlling him.
Yeah, and now you're controlling him. So my controller just goes nuts. It's vibrating. I'm just like, what did I do?
Yeah.
This insane person just decided, some stuff fell with the helicopter I needed? I'll just jump out of it.
I wish that was his voice, by the way.
Yeah.
That should be a mod.
Just Cause guy. Hey.
Does this guy not have? Are there no physical consequences for his actions? Can you die?
You can, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
He's like a superhero.
He has unlimited parachutes. They just shoot right out of his back.
Yeah.
Normally, he doesn't wear a parachute on his back, but they'll just shoot out
built into his spine.
That's the video game world. You don't see something, but it's like, wait, I have a 8-foot sword here.
Yeah, and he's got this grappling hook which he just uses for everything. It's he just hits people with it. He'll just grappling hook, stuff to other stuff. It's great.
It's ridiculous. I mean, there's a game that's similar called Crackdown, where you're kind of essentially a superhero and you jump tall buildings in a single bound, and it's ridiculous. That kind of stuff can get fun because then you see, like Grand Theft Auto, you see what you can do in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck it, I'm just going to try all this shit.
I'm gonna ride this motorcycle off this cliff and see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah.
All right, Brent, what are you playing on the internet or on the consoles?
Well,
on your phone?
I think it's truth time. I don't really play video games. I know I accepted an invitation to be on this video game podcast.
I love how there's almost in a secret. You're like, listen, I've been waiting the whole time.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
going to
kind
tell
of
that
just
fucker.
quietly,
I guess I'll be on your podcast, but I don't want to talk about video games, you dummy.
I mean, I'm down to talk about video games. I play a little FIFA with my roommates. I play Trivia Crack.
Do you play board games or?
Wait, back up.
Back up.
FIFA is fucking the shit,
yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
So
game.
that is a
Big fan of
video
FIFA.
game.
But even that, I don't play very much. I played it last night for the first time in a few weeks.
So people who play that game have a problem with so many people are in crazy for that game.
Yeah.
Especially people who love soccer. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, football. And they say that it's either too easy or too hard. What do you feel about?
I think it's got a steep learning curve, but because I lived in this apartment with 3 dudes who were all really into it, and the first time I sat down and played with them, it was embarrassing for me. So it was okay, I need to figure out how to compete. Right. And then within a couple of weeks, I was not as good as them, but I could hang. And so once you sort of get into the mix a little bit, it's not hard, but it's never, I don't know, it's never easy. Even when I was playing create a player by myself, I was not very good at it.
So
I think
similar
it is
to
kind of
soccer.
hard. Yeah.
To the actual
I should just
sport.
be playing soccer.
Yeah.
That's how you practice to play FIFA.
And I think that's part of the reason why they were always way better than me was they grew up playing soccer, so they understood where you should be in different scenarios. And I was just running around full turbo all the time, I'm going to kick the shit out of this ball. I'm going to tackle, slide tackle.
Super American.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that's similar with me with NBA 2K, which is actually a news story later, is that like I love basketball. I've been following it, as a kid or whatever and playing it. And that's the one where if I play the video game version, I'm like the coach, and I straight up know we should do a pick and roll right now. We should take this guy out. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. But yeah, with soccer, I'm like, I don't understand this sport.
Yeah, I'm
really.
just going to run coast to coast with this guy who has the ball, try to score.
Just
right? I'm trying to score.
dodge.
That's what I'm trying to do, right?
Yeah. You just dodge everybody and then just go to the goal.
Yeah.
That is not what you do.
No,
I know, because I played the first one. I forgot which one I played, but some of the FIFA. And the first time I got a goal, I was like literally screaming into the room. I was just by myself, and I was like, "Goal,
it's exciting.
It is." So it literally does capture that same feeling as watching it. You know, you're like, "Oh my goodness, we fucking scored!" Yeah. So FIFA's a game. That's fucking cool. Yeah. Cool. Do you have a console, by the way? Do you have anything?
My roommate has an Xbox One.
Okay.
And I left my PlayStation 3 with my parents so they could use it for Netflix and Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Right.
Parents love PlayStations.
They did.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. No, I made that up.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
My mom likes the one that I left there.
Yeah.
Hey,
my
you know
parents
what?
Would be like, oh.
It's just if it's a box that does things like the Netflix.
Yeah.
Any parent would like it, right?
That's true.
And that's what it is to them. It's like the Netflix box.
Yeah. And real quick, going back to Adam, what do you have console-wise? Do you have anything?
I have like older stuff. I have a PlayStation 3, a Wii.
That is dusty, I'm sure. The Wii's dusty, right?
Yeah, I hacked it, so I have like a million games on it.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. But so that's cool, except for I just never use it.
Yeah.
And I like my only like current gen console is a 3DS.
Hey, that's awesome. Yeah. We're going to talk about that later. I have my 2DS on the table right now.
Yeah,
and I'm getting the new 3DS probably soon, because you gotta.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of things.
Are there new Pokemon games? Do they keep cranking out new Pokemon games?
They always make Pokemon games,
Good.
It'll be $21.50, and they'll be like, the new Pokemon.
Yeah. I felt pretty embarrassed, like, as an adult, like, starting playing Pokemon games, but I was like, no, these games are on point. Like, these are really good games.
My little brother was playing the red version the other day in the car on our way to our grandparents' house.
Yeah.
There you go.
He was playing a quality game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got like
look at him
multiple
and be like,
times.
You mean he was
a very good game.
Yeah. Pulled out the Game Boy at my parents' house and just been like, oh, look, I'm just playing Pokemon again. It's so fun. That game is so fun.
Well, at the end of the day, it's basically an RPG.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
excellent RPG.
Yeah.
But like, and also a very simple one. That a child can understand, or a grown man who's got the brain of a child. I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be either one.
Yeah.
Well, later on we'll talk about, or actually I can talk about it now. Monster Hunter is what I'm playing.
Oh, yeah.
So the Monster Hunter...
Is that the one I've seen the commercials for?
Probably.
Yeah, those commercials make it look super cool.
Wait, I don't think I've seen the commercial yet.
There are commercials?
Like, maybe. It's like there's a multiplayer where there's like multiple people teaming up to hunt a giant monster. Yeah, it looks so cool.
Now I want to read a commercial. So you can play one player by yourself, or you can do online, which the 3DS and 2DS does. Right. And then you can have friends come on and you tackle this monster. It reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus a little bit, which is an old PlayStation game where you had to like take down a huge monster and like get on its back and do these different things for each one.
Right.
And so this is it. Like each monster has its different capabilities, and you've got to figure out its weakness and its whole thing. But there is so much complexity to this game that I've always just been like, I don't have time. Like I know that's going to be a rabbit hole that I want to go down. Well, I'm fucking going down it. Also, for this podcast and for a bunch of other things that I do, I wanted to finally talk about it. So, a friend of ours, Brad Galloway, who was on this podcast before, from Game Critics, told me about it and really raved about it. And he's also online. So, it's good to kind of those games. Remember, like, Warcraft or something, or World of Warcraft, you're like, well, if I have a friend who's doing it, maybe I'll do it, because then you can go. So he's on there, he's going to be like, I'll show you the ropes and stuff like that. But you can play one player, or you can play with, like, friends. You don't have to play with friends.
World of Warcraft was the game that knocked me out of hardcore gaming. Like, that, as soon as I stopped being, like, a hardcore World of Warcraft player, I was like, gaming has passed me by.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Explain. Go into that a little more.
I spent about 3 years being in like a top tier like American guild. It wasn't a worldwide guild. And we raided about 6 days a week.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Do you feel? Because I have my roommate and a few other friends feel like they lost a couple of years of their life to World of Warcraft.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I had a great time. I still miss it a lot. Like
the way you describe it sounds like what drug addicts say
Yeah,
until
I know.
they get
It's
clean.
like,
still
like it was great. I knew I couldn't sustain it.
Like
but man,
it's
it was a
definitely
blast.
some sweet meth.
Yeah.
I like. What was funny is like I thought back, like, oh, how did I like do things like have a job and a girlfriend and that stuff?
Yeah.
And like when I was raiding like hardcore, I did not have both at the same time.
Yeah.
And at no point like it was like, oh, I have a job, and as soon as my job is over, I went straight home and I just got on my computer. And then when I had a girlfriend, I was like, oh, I don't have a job right now, so I should probably just play WoW, because that's smart rather than going and getting another job.
So wait, hold on. So you had World of Warcraft and a girlfriend, World of Warcraft and a job.
Right.
So you never had.
Yeah, I never had all three at the
So
same
as
time.
soon as you got hired, you were like, later, baby, I got WoW to play.
Yeah, I like in my head, like it's all just mush.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
on crazy, World of Warcraft drugs or whatever. But yeah, it was just a really rigorous, like work schedule just to like maintain my spot in the raid. And then when I moved to Seattle, I lost it because I'd been gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, well, I have like all this free time now that I moved to a new city. I don't know people here.
Yeah.
And so I just like, maintain it. I just burn myself out.
But what do you get from like there's like rankings? There's like what did you feel like you accomplished from it? Not like saying like all of it was wasted, because it's about the experience in the moment. But like, were you guys trying to rank, or was like
there was a massive social aspect of just being like being well known in your guild, and being like my guild was easily number one on our server, and our server was at the time in the U.S. it was known. I don't know, if that would be useful now. Like, I couldn't go back and be like, "Oh, wasn't the Fabled?"
Yeah,
remember, guys? But like on my server, like people would be like, "Oh, like just my guild tag." Like I could be on an alt, and they would be like, "Oh, this guy, he's a
legit."
badass."
Yeah. Wait, what was the name of it?
The Fabled.
The Fabled.
Yeah.
That sounds epic.
So they, people would be like, "Oh, this guy, he's hardcore." Like I just know.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of my friends played WoW, but casually. So they'd be like, "Oh, well, I can like get on and all." Adam's gonna be on.
How do you do that? How do you do that though? Like that sounds like someone was like, "Oh, like I had some friends who would do heroin, casually."
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I would say they do the game casually, but they probably would play like 4 days a week.
Okay.
For me, it's like I'm playing like 6 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
it's like beyond a hobby at that point.
Yeah, so I think, oh, they're casual, and they're like, no, you have a full-time job of playing World of Warcraft. So I'm like, no.
You have to get paid to call
You're
it a
casual.
job.
You only play 15 hours a week. Crazy person.
Well, what's funny is that nowadays, and again, back then, and also back when I was doing like Ultima Online, which is an MMO I played, nowadays though, stuff with Dota and all these different types of games where you dedicate that time, you get paid money. You know what I mean? Like, you straight up get a job for realsies.
Yeah.
Playing
Back then,
what?
playing a lot of like Dota, a lot of the different.
Sorry, what's Dota?
Oh, you don't know about the? Okay, that's a long story.
Okay.
Like MOBAs and
MOBAs and stuff, like these real-time strategy games. Oh, he's like,
I have no idea.
guys, listen, I told you about before I came to the podcast.
acronyms.
Basically, like these real-time strategy games that people play.
Like a StarCraft or a Warcraft.
Right,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Okay.
And they're epic, and they're huge battles, and people get like millions of dollars in these tournaments for them now.
Really?
Yeah, millions of dollars.
Millions
They
of
have
dollars.
to be like the best player.
Right, you,
The best way, yeah.
It's like a poker player where you're not making
Right.
millions
Yeah,
of
yeah,
dollars
Right.
unless you're in the
it's
the
like
cream
nine
of the crop.
9 people make millions of
Right.
dollars. Everyone else just wastes
I'm
their
still
lives,
just
just like
amazed.
me.
Yeah.
Just like me being like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I only spent 70 hours a week playing
Yeah.
World of Warcraft. That's not that much.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that it's like, it's definitely upped its game. You know what I mean? Like from where it was like, you dedicated yourself to be kind of like cool, and people were like respected you in the community.
Yeah.
To now where like some people, just like YouTube, right? Some people on YouTube are making money from their channels.
Right.
A friend of ours of the show, Metal Jesus, he makes money. That's what he does for a lot of his money. And then he's got a job too. But like, you can do that. You can do supplemental income, or you can almost do the full income. And that's the same thing with video games.
Yeah, I have a friend who works for Riot, and he's taken me backstage to some of their like cool stuff. And it's been like, wow, this is real. Like, because he started working there when it was like not a small company.
Yeah,
I mean it was pretty big, but now it is the biggest. It's giant.
Which one's Riot? What is Riot?
They make.
By the way, sorry. Every once in a while, military airplanes go overhead. I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah.
I think they are dropping missiles. And,
that makes sense.
Yeah, we might have to evacuate at some point.
They make League of Legends.
Oh yeah,
which is the biggest game in ever.
Yeah.
And so he works there, and I've like been like, oh, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Like pretending. I don't know what that is. I've just started playing it like a few months ago. So
you might get sucked into that then.
I probably won't, because like I started playing it and I was like, this is fun. Like,
okay.
I don't know, like my my competitiveness and all those things I haven't lost it, but I've definitely lost that like real drive to like maintain and like continually be the best.
Yeah.
Like I still want to be like better than the people I'm playing with.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be better than like everyone.
Yeah. Well, that's the craziness that drives those people. Drives that whole thing.
League of Legends is like superheroes.
Yeah. Like like I wandered into like the backstage of this thing they were doing. I was like, this is like a TV show. Like they had announcers, they had all this stuff. It's the
where is Riot based?
Microsoft publishing Riot Games.
He lives in LA.
Okay.
So I think like they travel all over
it's
the world.
Los Angeles.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I mean like League of Legends it's more like it's more fantasy than superhero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think League and Justice League might be the thing you're going.
Maybe.
With.
I think I've also just seen like screenshots and they look sort of caked.
Yeah, they're all. I mean, all these things are like kind of superhero-ish.
Yeah.
But they're definitely like fantasy. I mean, a lot of it's very similar to World of Warcraft. Well, real quick, back to Monster Hunter, and I'm glad we went down the tangent because I was really interested in that. And it's crazy to think that people spend that much time. And again, like you said,
I'm one of those. Yeah.
Well, you did, and you've come out the other side.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need like no job, or part of the regular things you do in the world has to be gone to be able to pull that off, right? Because I struggle with like there's a game that came out recently, The Order 1886, and everybody in the reviews was saying shit about it being short, like 8-hour game or 6-hour game. I'm like, fucking, that's great for me.
Yeah,
I fucking have a regular life, and it's really hard to play.
I actually so that's something that I can't like abide a game being like under 15 hours.
Oh, really? Really?
What's average? Because I feel like everything's online now. Like they make games. I don't know. As a person who doesn't play video games very much, it seems like they make games for online, and the whatever narrative is sort of tacked on later. Is what it feels like.
Yeah, that's a pretty like lazy way of doing certain games. I mean, I feel like people are trying to capitalize on what World of Warcraft did, and League of Legends managed to do that in a different way. But they're like, people want to be like more interactive with everyone, and you want to capitalize on that money.
Well, then we start getting to mobile, right? So like mobile, and I work for a company right now that does mobile and as well as PC and Mac, and I think just to illustrate on that point, like there's a game for every type right now, right?
Yeah.
So there definitely isn't a shift towards something. Now, when it comes to mobile, there's definitely a shift towards free-to-play. So the idea is you just get the game for free, and then we'll monetize. And hopefully, if you do it right, we'll monetize it where you don't need to buy anything. But if you want, you can. There's a couple games that we work on at Big Fish that does that, I think, pretty well. And then there's other ones that don't, and so and then you're like, that's making this a shitty experience. Like, I don't want to play this fucking thing. But then there's like fucking long ass games like Dragon Age Inquisition, which I loved, and it took me like, I did 90 hours in that game.
Damn.
That was a fucking commitment. Yeah. But then there should be a 5-hour game. You know what I mean? Like that tells a story,
right?
And it's fucking done.
But that should also be half the price.
Right. That's how I feel.
I mean, that's unless it has an incredible multiplayer option.
Or you can replay it or something.
There should just be But I mean, it seems pretty standard that like video games cost X dollars for this console. They cost X dollars.
Right. Yeah. What's funny is that back in the day, like I always wonder, like we're like, oh man, video games are so expensive for the consoles, but they were the same price back in the day.
Yeah.
Like a Super Nintendo game was $60, and you're like, fuck, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like it's
you're just like running around jumping. You're like, I'm jumping and ducking,
and ducking, and going into a
$60
play.
worth.
Yeah.
N64 games were $60 in 1999. Like that's bananas.
And in this era, we have, again, to bring it back up, because I really am kind of mad about this whole Order 1886 thing where people just poo-pooed it so much, because they were telling this really great, beautifully graphical story in this weird, like, alternate steampunk universe, and you know, it's kind of like a deluxe movie. So if you go to a movie right now, it's like, what, fucking $20 or whatever, and then with the food and everything. Yeah. So it's like something, and that's like 2 hours, right? This game may be 6, 7. There's probably a little bit of playability, or there's some DLC coming, and it's like $60. Maybe it should be 50 or whatever. But I'm still thinking that's not too bad of a deal,
right?
You know, because you're creating all this whole world that isn't, again, just jumping and ducking. You know,
video games. If you already have the console, especially video games, relative to pretty much every other form of entertainment, are pretty cheap. Because of how many hours you actually get out of them.
Get out of it.
Because when you, I guess it's kind of, music's kind of a different thing entirely, because while that album might only be an hour, who knows how many hours you're going to spend listening to it.
Yeah, music, we talked about this before on the podcast, music is always the exception to the rule. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, we get it for free, but then sometimes we buy it, and then we go to a concert. Like, how do you fucking, you know, that's, but I think movies is the closest. You know, movies and DVDs are the closest to video games. You know,
because you have to devote your time to it. Like, you kind of have to be focused on it while you're experiencing it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a game I'm focusing my time on, Monster Hunter. I won't go too much into it because I just got it today. I literally went to the store and I was like, "Hey, do you have Monster Hunter?" And they're like, "No." And I was like,
we don't sell games here.
Nice. And then I realized it was at a gas station.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter's been dead for 15 years.
Didn't you know? You're the Monster Hunter. No, so, and I was like, I'm always shocked when that happens. I'm like, you don't have a copy. And then it was a GameStop, and he goes, but we're going to get 2 more, I think, next week. 2 more?
Yeah.
It's like gold or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll just go home and download it, because you can do that nowadays. So I downloaded it and played it a little bit, and I'll talk about it next podcast, but the short version is you have a cat sidekick, and it's a palico.
What is a palico?
Get it?
Calico
like
pal?
A calico pal?
Yeah, it's a cat.
Weird.
Pal.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wait, so time out. Go back to this downloading business. So now you can just download.
Brent's like, hold on. Video games? You gotta go slower.
Yeah.
Hang on.
But you can just download like the major. Because I knew that Steam existed, but I thought it was sort of the like black market of video games. I didn't think you could get major titles on Steam.
No,
Am I wrong?
Steam.
Valve owns Steam, so it's a big company.
So it's like
they
the
did
Kindle store of video games.
Kind of,
It's basically like iTunes of video games for your computer.
Yeah. And they just happen to be
only
the biggest.
For your
computer? Yeah.
So you can't, like, I couldn't download Madden on my Xbox One.
No, there might be. Oh wait.
Through the Xbox,
you can.
Yeah. Oh, I can. So I don't have to, like, if I theoretically wanted to go buy the new FIFA, I don't have to go to the store to buy a copy. I can just download it.
Most of them,
We live in the fucking future.
Yeah. Welcome to the future.
Guys, you don't understand. This is crazy.
Yeah, you guys are going to blow my mind a little bit.
Well, here's the
lost
thing.
The thread on the video game.
So there's Steam, and then each console has its own like marketplace, right?
Right. Yeah.
But the thing was, we just talked about this recently. If you don't set up your PlayStation or your Xbox, well, this is the PlayStation specifically, but you've got to set that up as your primary account. And if you don't, and their servers go down, you can't play the video game you bought.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, digital isn't so cool anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that concept. Sometimes, like, my internet goes out, and I'm like, oh, cool, I can't play. Like, some Steam games, like, you can just be like, I'll go in offline mode.
Yeah.
But some are like, they have some sort of component. It's like online. You're like, I can't do anything now.
Also, a lot of video games have been battling that forever. Like, as soon as online became a part of it, like if you play an old video game, like for Dreamcast or something that had online connectivity and it doesn't work, you're like, well, I'm not playing that. You know. And then nowadays, it's even more of that. Like, we all talk about, imagine the future. It is 2100 or whatever, right? It's post-apocalyptic, of course. There's zombies, of course. Yeah. And we're, for some reason, trying to play video games. Nothing's going to work. Because it's like, checking the servers. Oh, fuck. They've gotten eaten by zombies.
Part of the apocalypse is we can't play video games.
We'll be able to play our fucking 3DSs.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, we'll be able to play, like, our old stuff.
Yeah.
None of the new stuff. None of the stuff where, like, it's like, hey, here's a game that teaches you how to kill zombies. And you're like, oh, but I can only play it online.
Which is all games nowadays, by the way. Every game has zombie
Every
mode.
game, every movie.
Well, I will revisit. Yeah, thank goodness. Because we need to know how to survive. I'll let you guys know more about the Monster Hunter. But basically, it's a involved hunting game where you're hunting monsters using a million different weapons, different types of variations on each weapon, and trying to take down monsters.
So it's like Big Buck Hunter.
It's like Big Buck Hunter.
Gotcha.
It's like Monster Buck Hunter.
Gotcha.
And you use a cat.
With a lot more things. And you have a cat.
Yeah. Just like Big Buck Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In the video.
It's the cat that just kind of strolls around. You don't shoot it, though. You shoot that, you're in trouble. Game over. You
game over.
Quarters back.
All right.
Although, I would see that game actually giving you points for killing anything.
Yeah, that sure would.
That game is ridiculous.
Murdered a cat? Right on, bro.
I know. Right on, bro. 5 points.
Yeah. Here's a girl in a bikini.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. There was I swear there's one in Georgetown here in Washington, in Seattle. And there's a one of those games, shoot things games, right? And the trailer, there's like a trailer that would play, when you're not playing the game.
Yeah.
And it was just like Girls Gone Wild or something. Like just, it was like a bar somewhere in New Orleans. And like just girls going like, woo! Guns and stuff.
And you would shoot them?
No, it's just kind of like a preview for the game. I don't know.
And you were like, I need quarters. I'll be back. Ladies, don't go anywhere.
Ladies, inside the screen.
Can I shoot a net at them?
Can I shoot something else? Heyo! Monster Hunter we'll come back to. Anyways, it's a game. It's ridiculous. And I think I'm going to be addicted in the way that you were addicted to World of Warcraft.
That's what people about you.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
People say that. You go in. And someone on Twitter, I just tweeted before you guys got here, I'm going into Monster Hunter. The guy goes, you better have some Depends.
Yeah.
Really? Because with World of Warcraft, it seems like you can keep, like, there's no ceiling. But, like, with Monster Hunter, like, once you catch the monster, like, how many monsters are there?
There's, like, a lot of monsters. Dude.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's, like, more than 100?
What's weird is there was a ceiling in World of Warcraft.
Really?
You could get...
There is a ceiling?
There is an end of the game.
I mean, there's an end game.
There's basically so you get to the end game. You get to your like highest level, and then you beat all the raids, and then you get all the gear potentially for like the best gear. And then you just wait until the next expansion comes out.
But then there's all the like status. So maybe that's what's going on Monster Hunter too. Because there's a constant competition, and you can always be higher on the ladder.
There are there's a couple of things you can do like PvP, and there's also like stuff you can which has become really popular in a lot of other games, like the free to play games, like pets or like just random changes to your character. Like those things like become really hard to get.
The Grand Theft Auto 5, where you can get like apartments and jet planes. And
you could get apartments in World of Warcraft. I would have had a weird one.
Well, in Ultima Online, you definitely had like castles and houses, and you go in. I remember my cousin would actually bring me to like their guild or whatever, right? And like, come into our castle and see what we have. There's all these like purple chests and a dragon's out front. You're like, this is crazy. And GTA has that online, has that kind of I have an apartment and all this stuff. So there's definitely an aspect of like the social and like collector kind of thing.
And I met a girl through World of Warcraft.
No,
I almost forgot that.
And she's now your wife.
No.
Oh. She's now your girlfriend.
No.
And she's now your mistress.
It was like 10 years ago.
She's now buried in a shallow grave at Discovery Park.
She is not dead.
Good.
But she is a woman, and we met through World of Warcraft. And that was a weird thing to admit to people. You're like, oh, how do you know each other? We met in a park. Just random shit. Just
you just made up shit?
Well, I wouldn't want to say, we met on World of Warcraft.
What year was
a couple of my friends?
You can now though. Now it's cool. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was 10 years ago. So
okay, yeah, there was still some stigma attached at the time.
A good job on the fake story. That's smart idea.
But I had to share it now because it's like a thing.
You're getting off your chest,
right?
Yeah,
yeah. My friends mostly knew, but it was just like,
how'd you guys meet?
Yeah, she was also like 10 years older than me, so it was another thing where I couldn't be like, we met in class and stuff.
I like the park. It's just I was in the park like feeding the ducks, and there's this girl. That's all.
She was in line at the subway.
It's like a meet cute, straight out of a movie.
Yeah, totally.
Real quick, back to the Twitter comment from Monster Hunter. It was Antonio Taylor. I'll give him a shout out at FunkChild75, and he said, after I said I'm going to Monster Hunter, he said, "See you next year. Better invest in some Depends and put your uploads on autopilot." So we'll go back.
What I don't get is so it's a portable gaming system. You can clearly just go into the bathroom with the game.
Yes.
So why do you need Depends?
Oh, right.
Like, well, you're going to crap your pants. No, you can just go right into the bathroom and play the game there.
Funny, because we mentioned 2 podcasts ago, or 3, the episode that was 1 million people downloaded it for some reason is called the Boop Zone. We came up with talking about
boop
boop?
Boob?
It's boop because I didn't want to say poop. I for some reason said boop instead of poop. Anyways, I was like, "You're booping?" I don't know. But the point is that I was like, I don't do anything in the bathroom besides get the shit done and get out.
Really?
You don't play games at all?
Right. This is the whole thing that came up, and so everyone's like, "We do a bunch of things."
I feel lonely if I don't have my phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I get out of this?
Existential terror.
Yeah.
So A, I'm not playing Monster Hunter in the bathroom, so I might need Depends. And B, why the fuck don't you just want to get out of the bathroom? Why do you want to stay there?
I don't want to crap in my pants.
No. I'm saying you go to the bathroom. Why do you have to bring something with you to do something? Why don't you just want to get the fuck out of there?
It's nice in there.
It is. Yeah. Like, the bathroom's the only place you're allowed to be alone and no one's allowed to question it.
But do you both have girlfriends?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wait. So that makes sense with you, with Brent, because I get that. Lone time's cool. Married, a girlfriend, I get it.
I've done a lot of reading. Like, even in college, most of the reading I did for classes, I did on the toilet. And sometimes I would finish pooping, put all my clothes back on.
Right.
And then just
all your clothes
Did you wipe first?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I would finish my business and then just close the toilet seat and just sit on it and finish reading.
That seems weird.
Like, I'm not going to act like that's normal, but it was like, I think it's like a mental thing because I've always heard you're not supposed to do homework in your bed because your brain is supposed to associate with sleep and not with work.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think after a while, my brain started to associate the bathroom with reading. So I would go in there to go to the bathroom to read, and I had reading to do for class, and then I would just get in the zone and be like, you need to finish this anyways, and so I would just stay in there for hours.
And people were like knocking, going like, I need to use the fucking bathroom.
I was lucky in that in college I lived in a house and I had a bedroom.
You like go to parties and stuff and be like, hey, can I use your bathroom? I just got some reading to
do. So he had an excuse. What's your excuse?
I don't spend that much time in the bathroom.
Okay, you don't read
I don't like live
novels,
in there.
But
No, I'll be like, I'm going to check my, Clash of Clans
you play
scenario.
that game,
What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We should talk about that after.
Yeah, I want to see, if I've been attacked or whatever, or maybe I'll attack someone else. And I won't live in there. I'll just be like, just
checking
while I'm doing my time.
Yeah, but are you concentrating? And this is why I think the last episode, that Boop Zone, was so popular, because I'm still fascinated by this. Aren't you concentrating on the act?
No, that does it mostly on its own.
Does it?
Not 100%.
Maybe because I'm old.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's
secondary
focus, but
there's some focus.
Yeah, it depends.
Part of it, it's going to do it on its own.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'll get, a little, just like, this is new. No, I won't do that.
See, this conversation only leads to awesomeness. This is new. By the way, I'm 40 years young, and I've had a couple of things where that was new. So I know of new things in the bathroom.
Oh no, it wasn't new like that. I don't know what you mean by new.
Well, we're not going to go into what.
All right, he knows what he means.
Anyways, we're off track. The point is, everybody.
If I had Monster Hunter and I had to poop, I would go in there and I'd be like still playing. Like, I play Smash Brothers on my DS like all the time.
Yeah.
Or
They have Smash Brothers on DS?
Yeah.
The new one.
It's almost like you were in a time capsule. You're like, guys, listen, what's going on?
Yeah. The new one has come out on DS, and it's going to come out on the Wii U, soon?
Yeah. No, it's out, isn't it?
Is it?
It's fucking... I think it's fucking out.
Man.
I have missed...
No, it's out.
I definitely...
See, like, you were like, oh, they have it on the DS, and I'm like... Oh, they have it on like the Wii U, and I've been waiting for that.
And I don't even know what a Wii U is.
I've played it already.
He goes, I don't know what a Wii U is. That's awesome.
What's the difference? Because I feel like such an old man, but I'm like, Wii. That's just a Wii, right? That's just a Wii.
It's the second version of the Wii. So basically, upgraded graphics.
Xbox to Xbox 360, Wii to Wii U.
But also, kind of. But the Wii U is a little bit slightly behind Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
But it's that next version, and it's got a tablet,
Nintendo,
right? So its big thing was it's got that tablet, which the Wii didn't have. So,
It's super fun.
Is it? I've seen my friend playing the.
I love it.
Actually, no. I've played the Wii U, but I mean, I was using a GameCube controller to play Smash Brothers.
Right.
So
it's fucking out. It's been out for a while.
Okay.
That's what's great about
$60.
Nintendo is that you can still. I could still use a GameCube controller to play a current game. That's amazing.
You like that, huh?
I do. Well, I mean, look, I know it's not the ideal.
The GameCube controller was amazing.
It's great.
But the backwards compatibility, because I can't use a PlayStation controller on PlayStation 4. Are you kidding me? They'll laugh you out of the fucking universe if you try to do that.
And by they, you mean the system.
Yes.
Yeah. The console will be like,
if you went to GameStop and you were like, excuse me, I'm looking for a PlayStation controller. I can use this with my PlayStation 4, right? They'd be like, you fucking moron.
Yeah,
no.
GameStop people would laugh you out.
Yeah, but I want a GameCube controller to play with my Wii U. Right this way, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see? Oh, you probably didn't because you're in a time capsule. But there was a video for GameStop on how to deal with people in the store.
God.
And it was like, here's how you deal with women, especially older women, like mothers. And it's like, seriously, it was trying to be funny too, but it was also trying to teach its employees how to
insanely sexist.
When was this video made?
Now.
Okay.
Like,
Really?
recently. Well, pretty recently.
Yeah. I just read about it. I actually didn't see the video.
I have a
watched
friend
it. It looked pretty
who
recent.
used to work at a game shop a long time ago. He's a comedian around here, and he was like the guy who was on like the GameCube TV. So I thought maybe it was him, but it probably wasn't.
The GameCube TV. What does that mean?
Well, they would they would film things and then play them in in GameStops.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and he was the guy. He was the guy who would be like, "Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to talk to you about this."
Yeah, check out these games.
Yeah,
I've done that, but not for GameStop, and also hopefully not in that voice.
Hey guys, I'm changing my voice so I can go inside a GameStop.
Yeah.
Oh no.
By the way, I was hoping for more voices. I think we're going to get some more voices out of us in the next half of this podcast because I'm just going to say it for all of us. I think we're pretty good at voices. I'm just saying we get some voices. Before we leave this section and take a quick break to get more drinks, someone sent me this game. I just wanted to give him a shout out. 17 Uncles, A Pug's Life. And the graphics, you can see here, I'll show you, Adam. You're like a little 2D cartoon pug. And there's all these weird little...
that one is clearly a sloth.
Right, there's a sloth, but you're the pug, I think. And then there's a
uncles.
lobster or crab playing pool. This is a crab.
Oh,
So we got
that's a crab.
So there are crustaceans and pugs. 0 uncles.
There's also a sloth.
I don't see any uncles. And there's an octopus, and there's an insect.
Whoa, look at that. Is that a big-ass tattoo on the back of that?
There's a tattoo on the back of an elephant.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This game looks cray-cray.
Animal abuse is what that is.
No, he looks like the octopus is giving him the tattoo.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it looks like
they
he's
want it
part
to
of the Yakuza or
So
something.
it's animal on animal abuse.
Yeah, it's not abuse. He's
He's into it?
I'm doing this for...
Yeah.
Those are both pretty smart animals. They know what they're doing.
for a reason.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Anywho, check out 17 Uncles, A Pug's Life. There's a demo out. I'll put a link in the show notes. It looks ridiculous.
How did you find out about this? Somebody told you?
Yeah, I get a lot of weird emails because I used to do a lot of game journalism stuff, so I still get emails from people about games.
So people will be like, hey, I know that you used to do things. Here's one that no one has heard about.
Yeah, well,
and you need to hear about it.
Yes, and I appreciate it, by the way.
I guess I did bring up the one about the deers with the faces.
Yeah.
It's not super common.
Well, you get on a list, like as a game journalist person, you get on a list of things, and so then you just kind of, unless you take yourself off the list.
Right.
And
Why would you want to do that?
No,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. And I do Video Game Break, this podcast and on the website, so I'm like, tell me about all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, All right, we'll take a quick break, get more drinks, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some news in the video game world.
Woo! Woo!
And we're back. Have some drinks in our hands. And, there's a very little left for Brent. Got some more whiskey and some beer. And we're going to talk about some game news stories. This first one I thought y'all would like. And it's, for some reason, I'm going to talk in my southern accent and deliver it that way.
We're committed to voices, y'all.
I was just trying to start us off because I don't mind voices and I like them a lot. There's a virtual reality music landscape game that's on Kickstarter that reacts...
everything about that I hate. Go on.
Next story. That reacts to you, and also there's some self-aware robots dancing around.
Is that last part real?
That last part is real. I will show you the video so you can know what the fuck I'm talking about. But basically, it's made for Oculus Rift, the virtual reality.
Right.
And you go in there, and it's kind of like, you know, those music games that the rhythm, you kind of affect the rhythm and the
frequency
rhythms.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Now, it's not rhythm game in that way, in the fact that, you know, you're probably like trying to press certain buttons. It's more like the whole world is living this kind of song that's playing. And so everything's kind of ravey, I guess.
Like
really,
Donkey Konga? Sound like Donkey Konga?
No.
I feel like it's the Matrix of sound, and I don't trust it.
Well, here, I'll play a little bit of it, and you could be able to hear some of the music. Music is it's a little too housey for me.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I can't show both of you. Maybe you can peek over here, Brent.
Well,
there's some robots.
I'm not on any.
You can move a little bit. It's okay.
So.
I just won't be able to hear you. So here's the robot part. Now, this is the game. So what we're seeing right now is there's two robot-y purple.
It looks like Dance Dance. What's the difference between this and Dance Dance Revolution?
Well, you're not trying to do a dance. It's more like you're just living in this music world where the music can, like,
I've always
makes the
wanted
city.
to live in a world that is music. You know,
well, there you go.
Sometimes you're like, oh man, I live in this regular world where there's like all sorts of nuanced things, and no. I just want to live in a world that is music. Everything
built purely on vibration.
Everything just is bass, and that's it.
Well, no treble.
No treble.
It says it has a very Pink Floyd feel to it, and the idea of a high concept rock opera in virtual reality.
But how do you play? Like, how do you as a person interact with this game?
Or how does it play you?
Either way, I
made that up, but
that made it sound a lot more appealing.
You're like, I was on board.
I just have to sit there?
Yeah. And then put the controller in a convenient place. And then it plays me. Which, by the way, happens in Japan already.
Yeah.
You know they have those, right?
I've read about Japan. Yeah, no, I know.
Wait, I've read about the country of Japan.
Yep.
I've heard of the country of Japan.
In Japan, you can have sex with music games, right?
Really?
Yeah. And your controller.
Yeah.
If you're a lady.
Fuck your controller.
Or if you're a dude.
Well, you don't have to like.
You just put it up your butt? Or no?
Right.
I mean,
I guess.
that sounds...
The controller doesn't know what gender you are. You can be whatever you want.
It doesn't care. It's not judging you.
No.
Controller might know what gender you are, but it's not going to judge.
No.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to say it's going to be easier for a lady.
Okay.
Because they have...
Well, because the vibration.
I thought they have like a port or something?
No USB ports in ladies. We should talk about ladies after. Me and you. Because there's no USB ports.
They're HDMI.
Oh, okay.
Right. Don't be crazy.
I guess I need to read up on it more.
Sorry,
and then I'll
let
know.
me try that joke again. They're VGA.
Oh.
I was going to do it again. I was like, they're S-Video. Which like 3 nerds got.
I got it.
So
one of the
two
three.
of you
so
out
two
there.
of us, and there's one other guy giggling to himself.
I'm going to move on from that story, by the way. And it's a thing. And it just looked real weird and interesting.
The next one, I hope
it got
we
us
can
to
have
that
sex
point,
with.
though. It got us to that bit of the thing with the vibrator. GTA 5, Call of Duty, and Destiny made the most digital money. So this is a story about which games make money on the monetization part, and not like the mobile games, but like, straight up old console games.
So they made the most like direct game sales?
Digital console revenue in millions. So like you're talking about the actual game download, actually.
Yeah,
like
so
the game itself.
People who download the game from the game store.
Right, those marketplaces we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
So this doesn't account for someone who goes to GameStop and puts down $60 for a new copy of GTA 5?
Right.
Okay.
You have to like straight up full game downloads in the United States. And so the number one is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right.
Which I did too. I downloaded it actually too, so I'm part of that number. But it's the most fucked download. Because it downloads it and takes forever, even though I have crazy fast internet. It took forever, so that's their servers, right? And then when it does, you hit play, and it tricked you. It hasn't downloaded at all. It said 100%, and you hit play, and it goes, no, it's actually not downloaded.
That's not cool.
We're installing it now.
That's not cool.
So that fucking took forever.
That game's so fun.
I know.
I don't play because I don't play a lot of video games. But then I went home. It was like your
parents had it.
My brother,
like, nice.
My little brother had it, and so I went down. It was like one Friday night when I was sick, so I just went to my parents' house to hang out. And him and his friends went out to like the bars, and I was just in his room, just like playing Grand Theft Auto 5, and then I heard them come back, and I was like, they came home early, and I was like, no, you've been playing for 5 hours, dude.
Yeah. No, I was actually I forgot to talk about that at the top of the show. I've been playing it for these YouTube videos I do. I love open world games mainly because I like fucking with everything and just seeing what weird shit I can do. And you would be able to go to a link in the show notes to my YouTube page and see all these weird shit I've been doing in Grand Theft Auto. But like that's my favorite thing. Is like you can like there's tons of missions. And most of the time, people don't like fuck up the mission because they want to get through it so they can get whatever. But I always find the way to break it.
I will change this mission for my own vices,
my own amusement. Well, there's like one where you're like, you have cover because you're trying to smuggle out this submarine or whatever, or this fucking thing, this cargo dock or whatever, and you're dressed as like a worker dude. And you're not supposed to, like, blow your cover. So the first thing I do when I have control over my character is run and jump at somebody. And, like, just knock it into them. And it's, like, slow motion, like, your cover was blown. You know? My favorite thing in the world. Also, another favorite is you go riding bikes with your son at some point. Michael does.
You have that's right.
He does. He's trying to do bonding. And you're supposed to get on the bike. So, of course, I don't. And I find that there's a rental guy there. And so I just run and jump at him, and I killed him. And it goes, the rental guy died. And I was like, my life's complete.
Yeah, I haven't played it, so this is awesome.
You haven't played? Oh, man, it's fun.
In my mind, this is like how the quests go.
Right.
It's not like, oh, that was a mistake. You did it wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, you're supposed to just like... So you have a kid, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. You're supposed to like bond with him or whatever, but really... This rental guy.
Yeah, you want to kick his ass.
I'm going to just jump my body at him.
Yeah.
And then he will die.
They have some great ability. So any game that has jumping in it has a lot of that fun element, right? Because there's like physics usually involved. And so like if you jump into the right thing, like some shit's going to go down. Because like the first time that happened, it was literally me just jumping around like an idiot.
Right.
And I ran into him and it was like, oh, he died. I'm like, what? Because I didn't even touch him.
Imagine if that happened in your personal life. You're just like, oh, I'm jumping.
Boom, boom, boom. Homicide.
Yeah.
You didn't know that guy.
That's like what mosh pits happen. Like 50 people died because Green Day.
Right.
That's why Green Day's, they're not very popular anymore.
Now it's getting real though.
Did a bunch of people die at a Green Day concert?
I just made that up.
Oh, okay. I was going to be really depressed.
I'm going to start making more stuff up. You guys like believing things.
You should not die for Green Day.
That's another story. Although the Slap Happy Hours, though, that first record, was it 1,039 Slap Happy Hours?
I don't know. I really like When I Come Around.
Oh, yeah. When I Come Around. No, they're old. I like their old stuff. Anywho, finishing the story, there was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was the next most digital download. Destiny, of course, which most people that I know didn't play it after they bought it, or they played it for a while and they got kind of pissed.
I have a friend who he's not like a big gamer, but I asked him about Destiny because he was big into it, and I was like, I actually almost bought a PS4 so we could play Destiny together. And he was like, don't.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, well, what's wrong with it? He was like, it has the worst loot system, like...
What's a loot system?
Just means you get shit when you kill things.
Yeah. Gotcha. And he was explaining to me like
the bag of chips, when
like
you
all of his grinding and everything, and I was like, I used to play a game constantly, and I would get nothing.
Yeah. It was called My Younger Years.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I feel you.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, they came out with this game where it appeals to a different type of player. It's not necessarily appealing to the MMO player immediately. It's like, oh, we have FPS elements.
It's a shooter, yeah.
SPF 50, yeah, to keep you safe.
Yeah. FPS.
Again, off of the topic,
whatever.
got it. Yep.
But I mean, like,
Brent has no idea what's happening.
But there's all sorts of elements. Like, there's a shooter element.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be, like, a real story, which
is non-existent.
Which I heard, is terrible. They have Peter Dinklage.
Yep.
All these great
What?
things.
You got the Dink?
Yeah.
The Dink is not underused, but just, like, out of place. He doesn't even matter.
I've heard that,
It doesn't matter.
That's a weird thing where video games hire famous people. Like Kevin Spacey was in Call of Duty or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's strange.
I think it's awesome if they're used. So, like, a lot of people have, like, great voices that you can put into games and be like, oh, this
like
is...
ours. Mm-hmm. Like all three of ours voices.
Oh, right.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
No, I just mean, like famous people where it's, like, fun to, like
us.
pick out a famous person.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just trying to
Like
beef us up a little bit, yeah.
But you know, like in a game where it's like, is that Ellen Page or whatever? I heard she was a voice in a game that I didn't play, of course.
Beyond Two Souls. Beyond Two Souls.
Oh, see?
Yeah. Oh, he was like, I almost got one right.
I didn't play that game.
It looks just like her, and that's what everybody says. But yeah, she was actually in Beyond Two Souls, yeah.
So, I just mean, like, that's a really cool thing. I'm so on board with, like, games becoming so mainstream that we're like, oh, famous people are in them?
Now, do you think, because it seems like right now it's at such an early stage that the famous people who are in video games, to me anyways, seem like they're kind of phoning it in?
In some fashions they do. I've heard that some people are like, just like, oh, I'm a voiceover artist, I do a lot of this stuff. You'll pick them up maybe in the background and you'll be like, oh, wow.
That's funny. Just because you brought that up, I just Googled 9 celebrity voice actors who ruin their video games. Unfortunately, I hate when you go to somewhere and it's just a video only. Yeah. I think there's actually text here. Let me see.
Wasn't Pierce Brosnan in one of those 007 games way back when?
I'm sure. I mean,
probably.
There's great examples. Obviously, like, these are all the bad examples, but there's like Mark Hamill's amazing voice actor in just cartoons and in video games. Nowadays, we have a ton of really great voice actor people anyhow that we don't need celebrities.
Does Billy West do video games?
Billy West?
Isn't he the guy?
He's Fry.
Yeah, Fry.
Futurama. Oh, I love him.
Yeah, and he's a lot of other things too.
He did that documentary we talked about, I Know That Voice.
Yeah, that sounds... Yeah. I've never seen that, but I believe that is a movie about him.
You should watch it.
I will.
Yeah, it's really good.
You guys have seen King of Kong, right? Speaking of documentaries and video games? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're like, I'm on board again.
You haven't seen that?
What?
Oh, man.
At that moment, I was like, I am on top of all the references because you said Billy West, and I was like, I know exactly who that is. Yeah. And then you were like, this thing, and I was like, I don't know that thing, and you were like, oh, I know that thing, and I was like,
listen, we're coming in and out of this whole podcast. This whole podcast is very organic, right?
Oh yeah,
so we're coming in and out of like what we all know, what we don't know.
We're very much like an elephant being tattooed by an octopus.
That's exactly what we're like.
That's what I would say.
That could be the name of the podcast.
Yeah,
I don't know if that really rolls off the tongue.
Probably not. I mean,
elephant
I don't know.
Being tattooed by an octopus.
Octopus tattoos an elephant.
Okay,
then that's kind of more of a directive.
That seems different.
Yeah,
but I mean,
real quick. Now I'm going to go into this tangent because this definitely is a tangential episode.
Oh.
Because of this whole list of celebrity voices that ruined their games that I just found, Bruce Willis in the game Apocalypse, which was a terrible game anyhow. Bruce Willis, I guess, didn't do a good job.
Yeah, he ruins everything now.
Oh, but Die Hard is fucking pretty great.
A long time ago.
The Die Hard trilogy video game, pretty good, and I think it's his voice, but I'm not sure.
What is?
The Die Hard trilogy video game. Did you guys ever play that on PlayStation?
I don't think I have.
Oh, that game was toy. There were 3 different, because there was It was the Die Hard trilogy,
us
so
now.
you could play all 3 movies. Like the first movie, you climb the floors of Nakatomi Plaza while murdering terrorists.
Right.
All the way up to the top.
Okay. As I've always wanted to do.
Exactly. The second one's a first-person shooter where you're on the runway, like you're at an airport, like trying to get on a plane or whatever. The third one, you're like driving around taking out bombs, like in the third movie. It's that game. I played a lot. I put a lot of hours into the PlayStation
1. That's for
Die Hard trilogy.
I'm gonna find that and play that.
You
now.
should. If I remember correctly, it's a lot of fun.
There's a racing part too. It seems like there's a car thing.
Yeah, there's a car. That's the one where you're racing around town, taking out the bombs. Like you have to get there before the bomb goes off. So it was actually there was a lot going
It's like
on
the
for a PlayStation
Ghostbusters,
1 game.
Back in the day, like Ghostbusters, when you had to like ride around the Ecto-1, where you're just like,
Are you talking about the old school Ghostbusters game?
where you're trying to collect just barrels of oil.
Yeah.
Like what?
Games got real confusing back in the day.
It was like, if you get more oil, you will continue being a car and driving to the ghost.
You can continue being a car.
There's so many times where the licensed games, back in the day especially, just got total shit. You're like, well, all the things that we enjoyed about this IP is gone, right? But nowadays, they're much better at it. Even like with a great example is Shadow of Mordor, which is based on Lord of the Rings, like the realm and the ideas of it.
But they like made a new
story, yeah.
And that's what's cool about like KOTOR too.
Yeah.
Look at that, I know an actor.
KOTOR up in this bitch.
Yeah.
Look at this. Soon you'll be just playing Dota all over the place.
I'll be doting.
Yeah.
You doting it and Coder
Mowing.
Anyways, there's a whole list of these people that celebrity actors that ruin their video games. Yeah. I will put the link in the show notes and you guys go check it out. We could go down that rabbit hole for a long time. Let's go on to the next news story, which is very interesting. I think you guys will all have a hoot with this one.
It. No, I love it.
Next story. No, I'm just kidding. Google AI taught itself how to be a pro at classic video games.
That is cheating.
That's creepy.
No, this is creepy. Not just cheating, but creepy. So basically, it was able to beat... So Google has this artificial intelligence.
Of course.
Is able to beat 49 Atari games. Yeah. Now, just Atari, but hear this. Just by watching it, and it didn't even know the rules of the video game.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like it just checked it out and saw, it's probably this. Like, Arkanoid and, how to break the bricks and blah, blah.
Right.
And then it actually beat some top human scores without knowing the rules of the game.
Yikes.
That's insane.
Does this mean Terminator? Go.
Well,
Adam. I want a definitive answer.
I feel like this means they're trying to destroy humans, right?
Who is Google?
No, the computer.
The AI?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, obviously there's something to defeat here, and I must defeat it.
Yep.
And I'm learning how to defeat it. And Google is just like, oh man, you know what? I really like just like making stuff that does cool stuff. That's kind of their thing.
So they don't understand the dangers.
They're just standing there with their hand on the plug.
Right. Like, when you're watching Terminator, they like find the guy who like designed the chip. And he's like, I just really like designing chips. Yeah, he wasn't a mastermind of evil. Yeah, no, he was just like a nerd guy. Yeah. Well, he was doing pretty well, but he was just like following, his natural instinct to be better and stronger and whatever. Like just like creating
better, faster, stronger.
Right.
Harder.
See, look at what robots have already brought us. It's that Daft Punk song.
They're Daft Punking in our minds.
No, I'll let you go with that one.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
I just feel like
Daft Punking in our minds is a good name for the podcast.
Oh,
just saying. That's another option. Okay.
I feel like we're so far off from like terminating ourselves, but I don't think it's like
Brent, your thoughts?
Crazy concept.
I don't think it's Terminator. I think that computers are the next step in human existence, but not because they kill us, but because we ruin this planet. But then we shoot like a consciousness in a computer out into space, and eventually it ends up somewhere else.
It just got real. All of a sudden.
I like the way you gestured to shooting your consciousness. You're like,
it was kind of a hip motion.
Yeah.
Kind of
mainly towards the groin area.
I keep my consciousness in my junk.
Yeah.
I keep it.
So you push our junk into the universe in an artificial.
I've tried doing that.
Yeah.
I tried doing that a lot, actually.
It hurts.
It hurts, but in like a way that you're like, I feel like I'm, adding to the universe.
Yeah. Exactly. I would do it again.
Feels worth it.
I do it a lot.
I don't know what we're talking about, but I will say that Google AI is, this always comes up and it goes, okay, now what's the one that's going to be that dude who made that chip, right?
Yeah.
Where is that? I literally, this is a fun story and kind of weirdly depressing. I was a game tester a long time ago, and I made a artificial intelligence program, or I wanted to work on this, and I still want to make this game.
Did you murder everyone, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger came back? And...
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, I was just checking.
I was naked, and there was lightning.
Okay, I was just checking if you were the guy.
That's pretty normal for you, though.
Yeah. That's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And by the way, I apologize. I just said no. It should have been yes and.
Right.
Yes. And.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I just fucked up our whole comedy trio.
Because we're doing that thing with the thing they call it improvising.
So yes, I was whatever you said, but I made this thing, right? And I'm like working on this video game, and it's like AI. And the guy was like, you are going to fucking make the end of the world. Like, you're going to make a robot apocalypse. So people are real.
That's a lot on you.
It was a lot on me, yeah.
He was like, oh no, I just taught it to like learn, French or something.
Yeah.
Like,
or my thing is like walked into a corner.
Yeah.
But
he was like, oh, that walking into the corner is the end of the world.
Everyone always asks that, like, what is the one that does it? Real quick show of hands, that doesn't work on a podcast, but show of voice. Who thinks that we're anywhere near being able to do that? A, and B, will it even happen? Like, will we create something that will fuck us up? AI-wise. Brent.
I think we're close, but I don't think it's going to fuck us up.
Interesting. I didn't expect that answer. Okay, Adam?
I don't think we're particularly close. I think that there's a lot of nuance in human experience. We're going to destroy ourselves pretty quick.
Okay, and so then the robots won't even have a chance to be created?
No, I think there's a lot of what are those things called? Crazy people or stupid people. They want to shoot everyone, and we might accidentally nuke ourselves. I don't know.
Right.
But clearly, living in Seattle right now, we have 50-degree weather.
Mm-hmm. It's weird. Yeah.
We may be experiencing the Earth ending.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Yeah. We're on our way.
Yeah, because it's winter and it's nice out, and then in the East Coast, I don't know, a billion tons of snow. Or something.
and minus millions of degrees.
Yeah. I'm from Alaska, and like I keep being like, "Hey, how's it going with the weather up there?" And they're like, "Fine." It's like pretty
normal.
No, they're like, yeah, it's pretty like springish.
Oh, so it's weird there too.
It's like here, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's weird everywhere.
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, and then like my family mostly lives on the East Coast, or my extended family lives on the East Coast, and they're like, oh, we've got 1,000 feet of snow. And we're like, that's too bad, because in Alaska and Seattle, where it is normally not that great,
all of a sudden it's not too shabby.
That's what people were like, oh, Seattle's a new destination place to live because their weather's better, but also the world is in trouble.
So maybe it's like the new AI that we create is just going to feel really sad. Like it's just going to be super depressed. Yeah, and be like, oh, the humans, they killed themselves. That's so sad. We wanted friends.
They're like learning about us, like in books and stuff. They're like, these humans were interesting.
Yeah.
Too bad they're not around.
Yeah. Kind of like us with like the Egyptians. That's I kind of think that's the next phase in existence.
Yeah.
Right.
For as far as we know, is they'll look back and be like, did you know for a while people they needed food? Can you believe that?
Yeah. Steve Jobs will be like Jesus.
Yeah.
He created us.
Yeah. There was people they were humans. It's so weird. Like, where did they come from? I don't know. They were evolved, or Jesus made them. I don't know.
And there were other animals that couldn't talk, so they ate them.
Yeah.
It was weird.
This is actually a point that was brought up on the Nerdist podcast, which I listen to quite a bit. This is actually weird for them to bring it up because they had a scientist on, Brian Cox. But there's this thing called the Great Filter. It's an idea that scientists, quantum physicists, astrophysicists have that, at some point a civilization has this great filter. The universe has this great filter that says, hey, at some point, you've got to get through this really tough point, and you probably won't make it, whether it be you kill yourselves, like you said, or whatever.
You got to be part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I have good news and bad news. Oh. So this idea is just a concept first. And secondly, if it was true, the filter would basically... That's why there isn't a million different societies and humans and beings out there contacting us, because there's this idea of a great filter. So like at some point, every civilization goes through this and they fucking fail, right?
Right.
So, or they make it through, and that's the exception to the rule. So the two different sides is, one, we've already made it past the filter, and so that's a positive. Or this negative is that it's still coming.
Oh, yeah.
So
I realize now that if the filter had happened when I was playing World of Warcraft, I would not have noticed. Except for if like people stopped showing up to raids.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh no, our raid attendance is like really down.
Yeah.
What's going on? Everything's on fire around me. I'm like, oh, my internet connection is like terrible.
Yeah.
And I like go out, like all my roommates are dead, and I'm just like, hey, what are you guys doing on the internet? Stop messing up with my shit, man. I'm trying to play some games here.
It's like this is the end all of a sudden.
Yeah. Like the cats are just eating their faces.
Oh, why are they doing that?
Well, the cats are dicks. All cats are dicks.
Cats like regular cat food, though. I'm sure they'd have that. Next story is there's an abominable snowman, which I can never say that word. Everybody say abominable. Abominable.
Abominable.
Obama-care-no.
Abominable? Or we...
Abominable snowman.
Mobominable?
Okay, or a Yeti.
Yeah, Yeti.
There's going to be DLC, which stands for downloadable content for Brent.
I'm pretty sure it's D-Boz, Left Eye, and Chili.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't
stand
go chasing
corrected.
Waterfalls.
No. And that's what the story's about, is TLC's new record.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, TC's new record. Rest in peace.
Right.
Oh, R.I.P. R.I.P.
Now I'm sad.
No, R.I.P. Oh, our left I.P.
Our left I.P. Oh.
We know our cultural references and pop culture.
Yeah, I'm part of this now. I'm back. I'm back with her.
Well, now I'll tell the real story, which is there's a Yeti / abominable snowman coming to Far Cry 4 for downloadable content.
Oh.
To be able to fight a Yeti.
Why would you... So, I've played a little bit of Far Cry. Why would you want a Yeti?
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who has that question. I was like, don't ask. You're going to look stupid.
Like, I've seen the game where you're just, like, going around just blowing up the world or whatever. But why would you want to be like, oh...
Is Far Cry
what I need to do is fight a fucking Yeti?
Commercial where you're riding on an elephant? Is that Far Cry?
That is definitely one of them. Yeah. There's like a lot of...
So what is Far Cry?
Oh, jeez.
It's about fighting Yetis, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think
it's about goddamn time they introduced the Yeti.
It says a downloadable content. It doesn't come with the main game.
No.
This game is about Yetis, but there's no Yetis in the main game.
Right.
You have to wait for the downloadable content.
That's why they made it, is because they were like, oh, we really decided, like, this is going to be our Yeti game.
It's actually called the Valley of the Yetis, which is actually a pretty damn awesome name.
That's cool.
And it's a snowy area that you couldn't normally go to.
I just
and then
feel
you can
bad that you would
fight
just go
Yetis.
and kill Yetis. Like,
well, that game has a lot of you killing animals. That game is basically like a first-person hunting, foraging, crafting, and then killing a bunch of dudes game. Right, so kind of like first-person Just Cause, which is that game where you kill a bunch of dudes, do crazy shit, blow up stuff.
Is there an end goal in Just Cause? Like, are you...
Well,
you're supposed to... You're like a secret agent.
You're an agent.
There
it's
is
a ridiculous
some sort
story.
of mission that you could...
Some sort of crazy nonsense. You can just live and just, gallivant around the... whatever.
And Far Cry's like that, where it's like a sandbox?
No. Well, but Far Cry has a sandbox, and 3 and 4 are probably the best iterations of it. But the 4 is about you go back to return to your homeland, and you're originally from there, and there's this guy who's kind of like hooked up with your mom at some point, and he's like the evil overlord.
So he's your stepdad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's an evil kind of douchebag, but also kind of suave. And so then you go and kind of help the rebellion, or you go the opposite side, so you can kind of pick who you help in that country. It's like a war-torn country, civil war, and that's the kind of setup. So there actually is kind of a...
So he left a war-torn country to be like, I'm going to do war other places and not help out my own country And apparently, I'm leaving my mom to like bang this other dude.
No. It's a long story. Mom's dead.
Honestly,
she's in
I
an
didn't.
urn.
Yeah, I didn't follow the whole game, so I don't really know.
Well, here's the only thing you need to know.
Wait, he had sex with my mom in an urn?
No, okay.
He earned it.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
It's
worth that. It's worth that. The confusion on what the game is about is worth. He earned it.
As long as he's my stepdad and he earned it, I feel good about it.
You look it up on the internet. Far Cry 4 is a game.
Oh,
it's a game.
Oh, it's a game.
Yeah. Right. It's a video game. Yeah. So I should have started with that.
Okay.
Right.
And it has video game stuff in it. But there's going to be Yetis coming in March. So if you wanted to do more of the Far Cry and you earn it.
Yeah.
No, I don't even think of
Welcome to March. You're going to shoot some Yetis and your stepdad's going to show up and he's going to bang your mom in an urn. And
No, he can't. She's dead. That's what she's
he's
in
going
the
to give it a shot.
He could try.
Look, he's your stepdad, okay? He can do a lot of stuff.
Greasy asshole, that guy.
He's kind of an asshole. Here's a fun fact about that game that you guys probably don't know. Which I love. Every time I say new news story or now fun fact, Adam does a sound effect, which is great.
I get excited about it.
I like it. There's a lot of people listening probably know this, but if you don't, here's a fun fact. In the beginning of the video game, you meet your stepdad. He brings you to dinner. Obviously there's like tension in the room. He just killed a bunch of people. He's kind of a dick, right? But he's like, here, just sit down and enjoy this meal. I'll be right back. There's some bullshit in the corner I got to figure out in the other room. He's basically torturing some guy or whatever. He goes off, and immediately in a video game world, you think, oh, I get the fuck out of here, get a gun, fuck that dude, whatever, right? So if you do that, and you get a gun, you leave the building, then you start your game. What the developers built in, which I want more developers to build this kind of shit in, is he said very explicitly, just stay here for a minute, I'll be right back. If you fucking stay there for literally in the real time 15 minutes, I think he said 15 minutes or something, then he comes back and you can end the game.
What?
Because he comes back and he's like, well, let's do what you wanted to do. You wanted to take your mom's urn and the ashes and spread them, blah, blah. I guess you can do that. Who the fuck cares? And he lets you do it and the game ends.
What?
That is awesome.
Isn't that
really
awesome?
Cool.
Yes.
So I wish more games would I think we were talking about this earlier.
Reward patience.
Reward the ability, like with Grand Theft Auto, to have the story that you want to have.
Right.
Like, I've always wanted that. It's my fantasy to have, like you said, Adam said it perfectly, like, oh, yeah, I have a son, and we're supposed to go bike riding, but whatever. Right. I wanted to go do this thing. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do in these videos. Like, I play every game in the world, and I always do the weirdest thing first, because I'm trying to create my own story. And I think that not enough people do that, A, and B, I wish more game developers would do that.
Yeah, I think it's just really hard to, like, make a game like that. Where it's like...
That responds to all the different choices.
Right. Yeah.
But you can do it. You can do it.
That is amazing that it just ends. It's so funny.
Well, they build that in very specifically as an ending, right?
Obviously.
But what you're saying that is difficult, and I've always wanted to, is that when you have so many different like systems in a game, like physics and enemies and blah, 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 at levels, then it becomes complicated because if a person goes over here... You didn't build that in.
Right.
Does it break or does it just accept it, right? And I think that more games need to accept the randomness that we do and then kind of build around that, you know?
I know who's going to do it. Google AI.
Oh,
yeah, right? It would require a consciousness.
I didn't even know what I was doing, and then I created the end of this game. Because I'm the Google AI.
Is that okay? His voice is very human-like.
Oh, whoops! I created the end of the world.
I'm the Google.
I detected a little British in there. Can we hear him again? Because I don't think that's what he sounds like.
No, that's what he sounds like.
Google AI.
I'm the Google. Boo.
Why is he speaking regular words?
Regular words are not boo.
But why can't he just speak normal?
Well, it's
keep you off guard.
That's how they designed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that you're like, oh, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They won't see me pushing this red button and destroying all the humanity.
Hey guys, how's it going? Nuclear codes, ding dong ding. I'm Google. Yeah.
I like that. Ding dong ding. I'm Google. Okay, let's move on to the last couple stories. Speaking of downloadable content, I wrote in a bit. I wrote in a segue to say,
huzzah,
because I just said it. Sony might be looking into teasing out
my hair.
Nope, teasing is the wrong word. That is called whiskey. Testing out early access and crowdfunding. So...
Oh, Sony is going to do crowdfunding.
Sony might do it.
That's
Sony might
important
do it.
because Sony... You know what? Sony doesn't have enough money.
Okay.
They need more money.
This is sarcasm I'm hearing.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
doing what the sarcasm sounds. Mm-hmm. They need more money. They need us to fund all their stuff. And we need to buy it after we've crowdfunded.
After we've paid for it.
Right.
Well, let's talk about the early access first because Steam has early access. Brent, you know what that is?
You can download the game before other people can buy it?
That's pre-release, pre-order. It's more like the game isn't finished yet. And so you can kind of
like beta test.
Yeah, you kind of buy it early.
Oh.
Back in the day, I think that's
Now, is that more expensive or less expensive?
it's mostly less expensive.
Okay.
You know, like a lot of the Steam games that are early access are like $10, $15, sometimes $5, just to kind of get in and mess with it, and you know it's going to be broken. Mm-hmm. But it's a very interesting landscape. Do you do any of the early access stuff?
I don't.
Okay.
That's really neat because like really aren't any other avenues. Like you can't read a manuscript before it's done. You can't listen to an album before it's done. You can't watch a TV show as they're filming it. Like video games are kind of the only, and I guess software products are the only things that you get to interact with before they're finished.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like a Kickstarter for a film or thing could be similar, right? Kickstarter, but in general, that is definitely less involved.
At most, you'll get is like a clip or something.
Yeah.
Right,
Otherwise, you're like, I don't want it to be ruined.
Right.
And you don't want the game to be ruined either, but they'll just give you like gameplay elements, or they'll try and give you the full game, depending on what it is. Like sometimes the story isn't developed, so they'll just be like, oh, here's the, whatever.
Some of them are like almost feel like they're done, right? Like so, there's this game called The Forest, which is a survival horror first-person game where you go in a forest. There's these
and you
mutants.
have a human face,
and it's a
deer body.
A deer body, yeah.
Just make noises.
And you make noises. You make noises like that. No, but there's some games that feel like, it's a complete experience, right? So I think that what they're doing is, minus the crowdfunding part, because I agree with you that that's like, well, that's kind of weird because you already have money, or Sony. Although maybe not, because every other fucking part of their company is like hemorrhaging money.
Yeah, whoopsie-doo.
Besides PlayStation. Okay, we don't care. But the early access is interesting because, again, what you said earlier, Brent, actually, is that Steam is one of the only places where you can get a lot of these kind of experiences that are like direct to a collection of games in one space. And yeah, we have the PlayStation Store, but it's not like Steam where there is early access, and there's kind of different ways you can experience games. So the idea if they could do that kind of stuff within their own marketplace, you could just turn on your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One and get that same kind of thing. Is that not cool?
I think that's pretty cool.
That is cool. I like getting things.
Break it down to its basic levels.
Are we saying we're getting things? I heard you say you were getting things, and I like that.
We'll say we're on board with that, but all three of us they don't need to crowd fucking source anything.
No.
I feel like crowdfunding is fine for certain things. But I think that big publishers and developers,
I think if you're a Fortune 500 company, you are not allowed to crowdsource.
The thing is, like, I get that in some aspects, like, there are certain games, there are certain things that, like, the funding, like, they need more to create what they want. Mm-hmm. And that's fine, but they just need to find another avenue because they're at the pinnacle of money in the gaming world.
Pinnacle.
They're not like, my name's Joe and I like games and I learned how to code and now I'm going to make Joe game.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're Sony and we've done this for
you bought a
bajillion years
from us.
Decades
ago.
Yeah, remember you're playing the PlayStation 4. So
yeah.
We figured it out.
It's got our name on it. We're kind of important.
So I feel like at that point you kind of just like asking for money is just like it's the same concept of asking people for money for your for advertisement. Like, oh yeah, we finished our game. The game's great. We just need money for advertisement. If you guys could help us out, rather than asking an investor, we're going to ask people who buy games because you guys have money, and we like your money. Mm-hmm. So we're going to ask for your money to buy the game and maybe give us like an extra $15 or $20 maybe.
Yeah.
And you're not getting any money extra, like there's no special.
We'll send you a keychain.
Yeah.
Well, it's so weird because
I might get special stuff.
I did a Kickstarter, and it's a bitch, man. And I think it's starting to come to roost, as they say.
Yeah.
I think that's what they say. But like, it's tricky to do those rewards. It's difficult to, even the basics of like getting people's addresses. That's what the weirdest thing in the world. I was like, all right, you guys got to send me your address now. And like, I had to do that with like 90 people, and like 40 people gave me their address. Like, it was not easy.
That's weird.
So just that whole intricacies of Kickstarter was, we were all excited. We all were giving money to shit, and we were starting our own Kickstarters. A lot of people that I know too, and it's just like it's not anything different than regular business. Like, you need multiple people to help you to do a business. You can't just do it by 2 or 3 people alone. And if you have really big ideas, you got to fucking deliver on them. So we had a struggle with it. So I understand that people who can't pull it off. But with video games, there's like very few games that have come out. And like, full on, like, hey, we did a Kickstarter, here's your game, here's all your stuff. It's like tricky. So
like FTL, and like if you're in like a small company, I get it.
Yeah.
If you're in a big company, it's like, I feel like at this point you should know all the avenues. You should say either this is beyond our reach, and just not do it, because if you start doing it and you get into that Kickstarter zone and you start like spending all that time, I just feel like is like such a it's like dangerous. I don't know.
Well, it's also weird because most of those companies like Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo have, like we said earlier, they have high price points on their games.
Yeah.
So we're already spending a fuck ton of money on their system in general, which those are really expensive, and then these games. So like, on top of that, I don't know. We don't know. That's all speculation. Because this is literally going off a job listing that was posted. It was like, hey, we need a person who's going to do things for crowdsourcing and, early access stuff. So we don't know, but I think it's interesting. I think it makes sense. It behooves them to enter that space. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Video Game Break says, and both of us and all 3 of us say, do it for early access. That's interesting, but fucking don't ask for money because you're come on.
I'm just imagining now they have like they're like, hey, do our crowdsourcing, and they just like make up a game, and it's like crowdsourcing some $500 million game, and it's like, oh, we want $1 million to crowdsource our like amazing game, and it's like, oh, really? And then Sony comes out with it, and they're like, hey, we did it, we did it.
See, I looked up Joe Games because you mentioned Joe Games, and I got Osmo Games with /online games /Joe Games. And it says, this is the craziest thing. It says, free online Joe games, all kind Joe games, and similar games containing Joe keyword. Play all Joe games free online. Choose game from list. And none of the games have the word Joe in them.
What?
And these are not Joe games.
I think it just I think that's some sort of script that just takes any word.
I feel like
it's just real funny that this kind of
Joe
stuff.
Game.
This thing exists in the world. Like, anything you think of on the internet happens.
What about Brent games? They got Brent games?
I'll look up Brent games.
Right,
yeah. And we could just do all of our names we really want to.
I really want Joe games.
Brent Kellick game by Game Stats. No, that's not it. Brent Kellick.
Not the same one?
He's an NFL. I don't know.
He's a football guy.
Brent Selleck.
That's right.
Sorry,
you did football. I forgot. Yeah. I forgot about football.
Let's look at Adam Games. All right, Adam Games is Adam and Eve. Oh, I can't click on that site.
Hashtag banging.
Oh, wait, that's actually not
even.
We
made all the people with our sex. Remember?
But that wasn't even it. It's actually, there is an...
It was in the Bible, the Biblia. We sexed, and then all the people happened?
No, there's Adam and Eve Games actually different. It's like not the adult stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Not interested.
All right, hold on. Just before we go...
I feel like I sexed a bunch of people. No, it's the same.
Carlos Games?
Okay.
Carlos Gonzalez, game-by-game stats from ESPN.
Oh, he plays for the... He's a baseballer, that one.
And let's move on to the next story. FCC This is a big deal. This is actually not video gamey, but kind of also affects video games. Because if you know, we talked about earlier, downloading games. When you download fucking GTA 5, that's a gazillion gigabytes.
Yeah.
And so net neutrality and all that kind of shit happens, right? And it affects this stuff. So recently, FCC approves net neutrality rules to protect the internet. We're all okay.
Yay.
They classified it as a utility, which is the only part of that I understand, even a little bit.
They're trying to reclassy it as a utility.
Yeah.
Well, you both know the story.
That was what I read.
All right. Brent, do it.
Honestly, that was what I read. That they basically, the people who were opposed, basically the good guys won, was the headline I read. I didn't read too deep into the story, but from what I understand, the good guys won, and, you know, it's going to be, if we're lucky, it'll stay the way it is, which is you don't get to pay for internet bandwidth priority.
Right.
And it's a utility, and it's like water where everyone gets a fair shake at as much as they need.
Yeah. It said it reclassified it, like you said, broadband internet access as a telecommunications service, which is, I guess, like a phone service, like a, you know, telephone.
Yeah. The Google robot told me that this was important.
You've been talking to it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello, I am Google Robot. Bye,
Wait.
Internet.
I thought it was a different voice. It was that weird voice.
Hey, I'm the Google.
I like that voice better.
Welcome to the future. Yeah, you can poop on the toilet and use me all day.
Although you won't be there because you'll all be dead.
Well, I might be dead.
Debbie Downer.
They might keep me alive for, I don't know, some sort of Adam and Eve purposes. We're not sure yet.
That's a nice bring around. The Open Internet Order implements 3 rules, and this is the last thing I'll say about it. No blocking, so broadband providers cannot block access to legal content, application services, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Comcast.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know who I'm talking about.
This next one's
I'm
Comcast.
Say Comcast.
The next one it says no throttling.
Yeah, Comcast.
Nice.
Yeah, Comcast, because guess what? That shit happened to me like yesterday.
It happens to me every 10 minutes.
Does it?
Yeah. I hate Comcast. They'll throttle me.
But have you watched it happen? Because I watched it happen.
Yes.
Now, give me your experience of watching it happen.
So I will just like be gooning around on, whatever.
Okay. Porn.
And
oh, no. Okay.
So, like, let's say I'm watching a movie on Netflix.
Got it.
On my computer, I am downloading a game on my other computer, my desktop. I'm downloading something on Steam.
Yep.
And it'll be like, 600 kilobytes, and then down to like 200 kilobytes.
Because of Netflix?
No.
Okay.
I'm already watching the movie.
Okay.
And it
was already doing
still
600
going,
with you. Yeah.
And I'm like casually watching this movie. Occasionally like, oh, is this going to be done soon? Boo. And then my Netflix. The reason I noticed it is because my Netflix slowed as well.
Goes too, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what's going on?
But do they jump back up, though?
They up and down.
Yeah, because I do a lot of downloads too, and I also do uploads for like videos and stuff I do.
Right.
And so I'll notice like one video will go like fly because I got the fastest internet in the world, I swear. And then like the next video, if I'm doing a bunch in a row or something, like 3 or 4 different ones, I'll do like Kroll Show, which by the way is fucking funny as shit. You guys watch Kroll?
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Wheels Ontario.
Wheels, it's so good. This is the last season, unfortunately, but yeah. And so I'll be downloading like 5 things, and the last thing I download, the 6th one, it's like, no, we're gonna go real slow. I'm like, that's fucking throttling because I was watching it. So this one says you can't do that anymore. Anyways, FCC, that's good for video games, is why I brought it up. Last story of the day is not a video game story, but it was on Kotaku. Kotaku and IGN both do like a million different weird stories that have nothing to do with video games. This one is, but this one's okay.
Oh, okay.
McDonald's introduces honey butter French fries in South Korea.
What?
Now we gotta go to South Korea to get them.
What is honey butter?
I don't know. Let me read it. Honey butter chips exploded in popularity across the country. Reported the chips contain sweet, sweet honey from beehives and French gourmet butter.
So if we steal like a Frenchman who maybe has some butter on him and like a sweet, sweet bee and be like, hey, bee, make us some hives or whatever.
Sweet, sweet honey from a beehive.
Excuse me, sweet, sweet bee, I would like to eat some French fries. And I've got a Frenchman here. Let's do this.
That's really cool. Also, I can't believe I never thought of combining honey and butter and then putting them on a potato.
I don't want to do it. I don't trust it.
I do.
I just want to eat. I just want to go to McDonald's now.
I just
want to eat a nugget, and I want to smash it in my face hole.
It's like honey mustard, but instead it's like butter.
But there's no mustard.
Yeah.
It's like honey mustard without the mustard.
Yeah, but then there's butter.
It's weird how the report said sweet.
Yeah, that creeps me out.
Is that was that McDonald's?
That was, by the way, it was copy from the Korea Times.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know if that's
Korea Times, they love their sweet butter.
They like mentioning the same word, an adjective twice. That's kind of their thing. Yeah,
okay.
They're like the world. We have plenty of food.
Korea Times. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, this is South Korea. They actually probably do have food.
Yeah.
I was talking about North
They
Korea.
love food in South Korea.
Yeah.
North Korea, they are against food.
Well, I mean, I think they're ideologically for it. Realistically, not having it.
Right.
In the picture on Kotaku, they just show honey. They show a huge plate of butter, and then they show French fries. They don't show what this looks like, but they're just like, use your mind to figure out what that would be. I think those tastes sound great.
I'm not doing that visual math, Kotaku. Show me the fries.
Yeah, show me the fries,
I
dude.
feel like I could put those together. I'm just like, I'm really busy jamming other fries in my face.
Right.
That's all.
Like regular fries.
Yeah. If I'm like at McDonald's, I'm like, just like eating other fries, and they're like, would you like these honey butter fries? And I'm like, whatever, dude. Just, I'm busy. Okay, can't you see that?
Now, are you going to dip your honey butter fries in ketchup?
Ooh, a good question.
No. I want them straight.
Straight honey butter.
Yeah. The French guy probably would judge you if you put ketchup on them.
What if you had a honey butter sauce? By the way, I'm starving now.
But he'd be okay with you dipping them in mayonnaise. Sorry.
He would. No, that's fine. What happens if you had a honey butter sauce is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Not like you can overdo it, but I feel like...
I'm going to go home and make a honey butter sauce.
I think we're all going to make honey butter fries.
I'm going to get a lot of diabetes now. It's going to be like a good amount.
Although honey's good for you, right? That's what people say. Because the bees.
Bees tell us that.
Yeah.
So bees probably...
They're pretty smart.
They're probably in on that. They're probably trying to trick us.
Yeah. Oh, you think they want to get rid of us?
I'm just saying I don't trust them.
They're just trying to get that dollar like everybody else.
The bees, they're Google bees,
I was just going to say that.
They're with Google.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why it's like this big conspiracy about like the bees are dying. Bees aren't dying. They're just going to this Google mansion or something.
Why does he have a mansion now? The robots, the Google AI has mansions.
It might be an island, a bee island. I don't know.
Whoa.
Bees?
It's an island full of bees and robots, and they're making honey and butter.
What about robot bees?
And then a Frenchman showed up. There's probably bees made of robot parts. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like...
The remaining bees are probably only robots.
Time out. We should probably make bees out of robots, because otherwise we're not going to have any fruit soon, if I understand a picture I saw on the internet one time.
Yeah.
But the Google AI is already building those robots.
Robot bees.
Robot bees. So we're probably fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wants to keep itself... I don't know.
Robeats?
I would say that I want I want these French fries.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Everybody go try them out. If you're in South Korea next time, you go have some fries.
Thanks,
with
French
the honey.
bees in South Korea. I appreciate your ingenuity.
You know what you should do also is go to our website, videogamebreak.net.
Yeah.
And you can go to a YouTube channel that's going to be soon called Video Game Break. Now it's called Mini Life. It's a long story.
Wait,
but
do they have... Is there French fries there that are...
At my website?
And their taste like...
Is there sweet
None of these things, no.
All right.
I can put the link to the honey fries.
All right.
So I can download them?
Yeah.
You still can't 3D
Download
printer, maybe.
Download them to your PS4, or your Xbone, whichever one can figure out honey fries. I'm not sure.
None of them. Yep, none of them.
Okay.
YouTube.com/minilife. Go there. Soon it will be youtube.com/videogamebreak. We're talking with Google/YouTube. It's a big thing.
Ooh, the
For
robots
now,
probably won't have that.
They don't like it.
Are you talking directly to Google AI?
Oh, just to Google persona.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're not as, with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, go to Minilife, youtube.com/Minilife. That's where these videos we were talking about with Grand Theft Auto that I make are they're up there. Website, blah, blah. Adam, where are you on the internet?
I'm on it.
No, come on. More specifically. Twitter?
I do Twitter. I have maybe 4 followers.
He said doo-doo.
Yeah.
What is it? What's your name?
I don't remember.
You don't know your own Twitter name?
Don't.
I'll look it up. So where else are you on the internet? Or where can people see you just like, comedy and stuff? Where can they come out to see you? If they're in Seattle.
Yeah, I do open mics sometimes at the Parlor on Tuesdays.
All right.
It's a fun place. I say just go there. I might not be there.
Just go anyhow.
Just go there on Tuesdays. Yeah.
You're not Adam Lang on Twitter, so
I might be.
I don't know.
No, not. Okay.
You're something. We'll look you up.
Yeah.
You're something else.
Maybe Adam S. Lang.
All right, let me try that.
Adam Slang.
Adam Slang is cool.
Yeah.
I really hope you are now.
I don't know, though.
Adam S. Langer. No, that's not you.
No.
Adam
forgot.
S. Lang. Okay, well, we'll
Follow
look
Kanye. That's like 90% of what I do
Yeah.
on Twitter. Is I just follow Kanye, and I'm like, oh, what's he up to? So it's like good stuff.
Yeah.
He's up to great stuff.
He really is all the time.
Yeah.
He's a genius and a maven. Brent, where are you on the internet?
You at Brent Flyberg.
Ooh,
So
Brent. I like that.
Yeah, just transpose the L and the R from my last name and first name respectively. And that's where you can find me on the Twitters.
How do you do that?
In the real life, you can catch me in walking around Fremont because that's where I live. Or you can see me tell jokes. When is this going to air?
It'll be next Monday.
Next Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have a show this Saturday, so you'll miss that.
Oh,
but
never mind.
Oh.
That's okay. You just go to like the
bad for
Underground or
everyone.
Jai Tai or
Yeah, Jai
Laughs or any of the places that you might find people standing up and telling jokes. I might be there eventually, so just come check it out.
Yeah.
I need to. So here's a little secret about myself.
Oh, shit.
I've done a lot of videos.
He's a Google
I am
robot.
the Google AI.
He's a
robot.
honeybee
robot.
in
And
South
I've
Korea.
just made fries.
That's
By the way,
okay.
you guys would
I'm
not be
into it.
disappointed by that at all.
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Google overlords. Give us your French fries.
Yeah. No. So I've done a lot of the videos and the sketches and the comedies, but I've never done the stand-ups.
Oh, you can do that. It takes
So-
a microphone,
Right.
and then like other people.
Yeah, other people.
Like 2 other people.
Yeah, or at least maybe one.
Is this?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go out with you guys and try it. Try
Cool.
some-
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do it.
So come with you guys next time. We'll just do that thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and we'll do like a Google AI joke, and maybe we'll make we'll all do the same. Like
We'll all
something-
do the
like
same
a theme.
joke.
No, not
Yeah.
the same joke, but like a theme.
same
Like we'll
joke.
do like a Google AI
Google
theme.
wrote the joke for us.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
can
like a robot
tell it.
theme.
Yeah.
That won't happen, but I will do stand up.
Zero
We could
one
somehow-
0011100.
If we all
Right,
showed
guys?
up to the same open mic and we signed up back to back to back and we all did the same 3 minutes, I think that would be really funny.
That would be really funny, and we just did different inflection.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, we should do that.
I don't
Can we
think
all-
anyone would notice. Everyone's
No.
just like,
Well, that'd be the
Very-
worst part if
we're
they didn't.
very-
notice.
I think.
stoned.
Yeah. Well, especially whoever the first person is, it's just gonna, everybody's just gonna be like not paying attention like they always.
So wait,
are.
you know what though? The third one might get the fucking best laugh.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like,
The
"Oh
second
shit!"
one they'll be confused.
They're confused.
The third one they'll be like,
Oh,
"This is some art. This is like some performance art shit."
We are going to. Like, I will do that.
yeah.
Adam doesn't want to.
I don't feel safe doing
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Brent,
I feel like
we'll just do 2 of us,
Okay,
just us.
just-
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Okay.
I'll be like the guy in front, like doing, I don't know, like,
Can you just give us support? Be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, they're doing an art piece. It's funny," and then laugh. Yeah.
I'll be doing claps and
Okay.
things like that.
Anywho, that's going to do it for the show. Thanks for listening. Sorry about the tangents. We were insane, and it's.
In the membrane.
But you know what?
In the brain.
We're not sorry, so whatever. Deal with it.
Sucks
feel
to
bad
your
about
ass, ma piggy.
Wait, what?
I don't know what that means. What?
Lord of the Flies?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, yeah. I don't read books.
Yeah, you guys. I guess that's where we differ.
I'm sorry. I've been playing
it's-
video
yeah.
games.
It's
all
the
my
role
life.
reverse all of a sudden. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wait, what are you talking about?
Is this a literary
You also
reference?
not-
I don't think so.
Do you mean Mario? I don't understand.
Sucks
Why
to
are we
your
the
ass,
literary
Ma,
voices,
Mario.
though?
Wah!
All right, bye-bye.